I've just loaded up the Magneto Sprocket program, and you can see it there. That's the toolpath. Looking at the start and finish depths, I'm going to have to take a bit off the thickness of that flange. Z minus 0.417. 0.208 Z. The first cut is 41 thou, and then for whatever reason, I don't know what's going on here. It's kind of strange. I need to really be careful what I'm doing here. Then it goes to 83 thou and does a series of passes around there, so we'll see what happens. And then it goes down to Z125, which is what I've programmed, so I'm reasonably confident that it'll work alright. I just need to thin that flange. There we are, taking some metal off. I don't know how many passes this is, but it's pretty heavy cutting, but it makes light work of it. It's pretty good, this cutter. There we go. That's good. You can see the conversational here. It's probably going to be some wasted, a bit of air cutting here when it goes, once it's gone around this, the next two sort of parallel lines. But never mind, it's working. Well, as you can see, the cutter sitting just off the work, and I have started the cycle in single block mode. It's gone to where I expected, so there's little more I can do with this one other than to hit cycle start and hope for the best. Well, after a lot of problems, I finally got this sprocket cutting. Basically, I had the wrong size of sprocket drawn, typical of me. However, my CAM software is, thanks to Windows 10, is not working, so I had to resort to Gearotic, which is another program I've got, which is brilliant for this sort of thing. However, Gearotic isn't quite as good as SprocketCam, and I just couldn't figure out where 0 was at first. But then I went back into the program, had a good look, and found references to X and Y. I knew that my 0 previously had been in the centre of the work, so all I had to do was backtrack from the centre to the coordinates given for the start of the job, and that's all I did. I just put negative figures in for each of the X and Y axes, and I arrived back at the start point for the project, which is in the bottom right hand corner if you were cutting something from square stock. And you can see the profile's cutting quite nicely, so I'm well pleased with it. So we'll see how we get on with it. It's got about 3 passes to make. Unfortunately also, just had a big crash. I didn't have it on camera, pity. I was resetting the Z height because prior to that the tool sitting above there to put air just in case anything went wrong. I needed to reference Z again, so I referenced Z, but I forgot to change from T0 back to T18 in the program, and of course as soon as I switched on it assumed I had T18, which is about 3 inches long, and it shot the Z axis straight down into the work, smashed the cutter. There's a little bit of damage there at the inside there, but it's not going to make any difference to the project. As you can see from the slider on the screen here, we're almost there. We're on the last run, the last pass if you like. It's, as you can see, it's only got a few more teeth to go. It's actually been cutting here. I programmed it for a 200 thou thick sprocket, and it's nowhere near it. So it's got 1/8, just over an eighth. I think it's 135 thou thick this. So there's plenty of extra on there. I'm really pleased with the Sprocket, apart from the crash. Once I recovered that and regained my composure, I managed to realise what I'd done anyway straight away. So it was just a case of getting a new cutter and putting it in, measuring it, putting the offset in, and off we go again. So I'm really pleased with it. It's gone very well, this little project, and in fact so much so I'm going to make some vernier timing sprockets next, and that's the blanks are waiting for them next. That'll be a couple of weeks time by the time I get all the programming sorted out, especially given the problems I've got with my CAM software at the moment. I'm sure they'll get sorted out. Well, there we go, that's it finished. Let's just go to G30. It will go a bit quicker if I had the max valve turned up, and I'll switch off the coolant, and that's it. That's how it would look. And here, well, it looks pretty good. A bit raggy around there. I'll have to get the burrs off, and also the teeth need, the profile needs a tapered face on the tip of the teeth to act as a guide for the chain. I'll probably just do that in the manual lathe. It's only a 5-minute job rather than setting up the duality again. I should really, if I'd had confidence, I would have done it before I put it in to cut the sprocket, but I'm not confident enough for that sort of thing yet. It's easier done afterwards. Well, there you go. There's the two. That's the timing sprocket, sits on the magneto, and the one next to it sits on the camshaft of the engine, and hence the 2-to-1 reduction, I suppose, or the 2-to-1 gearing for a magneto. Well, it's actually 1-to-1 chain ratio, but the timing, the camshaft runs at half engine speed, so there you get your timing from that. Unfortunately, the damage done by the crash, you can see it there. It looks worse than it is actually. I'll probably just dress that out with a Dremel, and I'll be making a special adapter, or not an adapter, extractor to fit in there anyway, and I'll make sure that that fits. Really, I'm very pleased with the way things have gone on this. You can see it's good finish in there, good finish on the tapers and the bores. Excellent. You know, the little duality lathe, it's scorned by a lot of people, but it's worked for this. I don't think it's very good for a production run. In fact, I wouldn't dream of using it for anything more than half a dozen things at a time. Okay for small stuff, perhaps, but I think what I will be teaching myself is how to fit the workpiece into the spindle of the mill and put the cutting tools in the vise and work the machine as a lathe stood on its end. I'm sure I've seen it done. It was done at the Tarmac school when I was there at the workshop, and I'm sure it'll be relatively straightforward and obviously a lot more rigid than the small lathe, but I've enjoyed using it, and I'll use it again.